Okay, time for another calculator comparison. This time between the Hewlett-Packard HP Prime and the Texas Instruments TI Nspire CX CAS, which is a mouthful to say, so I'll just call it the TI Nspire from now on. As with my other calculator video, I'm going to compare these in terms of what they're like as physical products. I'm not going to get into the functionality very much. I may say a little bit about it, but they roughly do the same things. Graphing calculators, they can do they can do calculus, they can solve all sorts of algebra problems, on and on and on. They both have ability to do financial calculations and et cetera, et cetera. I don't get into that stuff because you can really find all that out online. What you can't really find out online is what these machines are like to actually hold and work with, and so that's why I want to talk about that. So let's just get into it. First off, while I am going to say that the Hewlett-Packard is in general a more well-made product, a more finely made product, the covers, strangely, that's these things, the cover on the HP, can you hear that? A little bit loose. Surprising. Makes a little bit of a rattle. Whereas the cover on the Texas Instruments makes a little bit of a sound, but not nearly as much. Maybe I just got unlucky. Maybe HP has fixed this. Is it a big deal? For me, absolutely not. But I just thought I would say that. But what we're really interested in is the calculators themselves, not the covers. Okay, and once you get to the calculator itself, there is no question that the HP Prime is a more well-made machine. It's it feels well-made. It has that sort of weight and compactness and no rattle that speaks of a well-made product. The buttons are firmly in place there, whereas with the TI Nspire, there's looseness here, a little bit of a rattle. No rattle, rattle. Okay, again, nobody cares about rattle, but I just thought I'd say that. The next issue I'd like to talk about is the big equalizer between the TI Nspire and the HP Prime. You'll see that in general, I like the HP Prime better, with one huge caveat, and that's the separate letter keyboard here on the TI Nspire. That separate letter keyboard is extremely helpful and extremely nice to have. Yes, you have all the letters here on the HP Prime, but you have to hit the alpha shifter and then go looking around for them. If you're doing a lot of algebra and work with variables, this separate keyboard is just really handy to have, really nice to have. It just seems like this might be more handy for working with letter variables. This seems maybe more designed, the HP seems maybe more designed for working with numbers. Not sure, but I just thought I'd put that out there. On the other hand, the buttons up here on the TI Nspire seem quite small. I know I have larger hands. I wear extra large gloves, and trying to access the operators up here, it's sort of difficult to do with my big fingers. I'm always hitting the other keys and stuff, and it takes a while to get used to. It's sort of annoying. It's not so bad down here because even though the buttons are quite small, they're quite separate. They're quite far apart. So it's actually okay down here. It's up here that things get a little cramped, okay? Nevertheless, the separate keyboard is a huge equalizer between these two calculators. Really nice to have. Let's see. The whole reason I got the HP Prime was that the TI Nspire does not have comma separators for large numbers. I sort of can't believe this, but you know, so you're dealing with large numbers, and guess what? You got to count those zeros, and that is really annoying after a while, right? Really annoying, okay? So this is what the screen looks like at the beginning. Here's the scratch pad calculator. There are the numbers, okay? On the Hewlett Packard, turn this on, go to home, and there are, I already did this, so there are your nice commas, okay? So the lack of commas here drove me absolutely crazy. I don't know why they haven't figured out to put this into an option. It seems like the easiest thing in the world to do, but it's just not there. It's not there in the settings. I've looked. Unless you can tell me where it is, but believe me, I really have looked. What else? The screen is a little bit smaller on the TI Nspire. And that little bit of smallness actually turns out to make quite a big difference because things easily start to feel very cramped here on the TI Nspire. You run out of space really quickly. Secondly, the graphics are pretty grainy, pretty yeah, not very nice. They're much cleaner, crisper, sharper here on the HP Prime. The HP Prime is just a hands down much better screen. Finally, and probably most important, the HP Prime has a touchscreen, whereas the TI Nspire does not. So TI Nspire is looking very old school in terms of its, not even old school, but old technology in terms of its old, you know, this is like 1990s screen here. It's really not, I think, acceptable in these days. Okay, so the screen is smaller on the TI Nspire. It's more grainy. It's not a touch screen. So, you know, big hits on the screen. HP Prime definitely wins hands down on the screen. And let me talk about the final reason why I like the HP Prime is because it has reverse Polish notation. So if you don't know what that is, you'll probably never miss it, and you'll be happy with the TI Nspire. If you do know what it is and you liked using it, the TI Nspire doesn't have it. The HP Prime does, so you can you know, do lots of large calculations really quickly here, and that's a lot of fun. So I think that's all I wanted to say as a comparison between these two calculators. Screen definitely better on the HP Prime. Physical product, higher quality, okay. Has reverse Polish notation, has comma separators. None of that is here on the TI Nspire. But, as I said, the big equalizer is the separate keyboard for letters. That is a huge help. Really nice to have that on the TI Nspire. So, that's all I wanted to say. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye.